Can you hear me? Am I audible? Check it out. Audible, na? Okay, great. Okay, so very good morning and welcome to this session on personal finance and financial literacy. I'm Krunal Rindani, and me along with my father, we will be talking about a lot of things in finance, and we have a set agenda for you here today. And I would just like to say that if you have any questions during the webinar, please just feel free to share, be active in the chat, because that's the best way we'll learn. And there's one thing that I always say, that it's always the chat's enthusiasm about the topic that is going to really drive the rest of the session. Because if you are enthusiastic and if you want to learn that much and if you are passionate about it, then we will also like to bring in that extra energy. So I'll just let you know all of that, and with that I think we can start in around 5 minutes. And also please let me know, English hai, Hindi hai, English, what, a mix of both, what you would prefer. Okay, people are still joining, so we've got a few people in already. Okay. How many of us are we? How many of us are we? Fine. Okay. Can everyone see the screen? Is my screen visible? Please let me know. Is my screen visible? Okay, great. So I think we can start now. We're at 11:34 right now, and by 11:35 we'll have actually started properly. So to start off with, I'd just like to lay the agenda for today. This is going to be a session on financial awareness and discipline. तो हम लोग बात करेंगे कि फाइनेंस में कौन कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ है जिसका ध्यान हमें रखना होता है. So we won't just talk about the stock markets or a particular strategy or anything, but we'll talk about the general broader landscape. And of course, if you want sessions that are more related to stocks or something specific, we can talk about that eventually. But today's agenda is going to be to understand exactly what all things are there in finance. ऐसी क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं जिसका हम उपयोग कर सकते हैं, जिसका हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं, and using that we can improve our day-to-day lives also. Okay, so to start off with, I'd talk about financial awareness. Now I'd like to know how many of us think we are relatively financially aware, and this will not only test our financial literacy and awareness skills, but it will also see how much of a thought we have given this, because it's important to do that also. Remember, the first thing is always identification. एक बार identify करेंगे उसके बाद हम लोग improve कर पाएंगे. So there is a bit of a lag in the stream, by the way, which is why you might notice that hey, why is this guy talking, and 30 seconds after that the thing is coming. So there's a bit of a lag. Unfortunately, we can't do much about it, but that's fine. As long as the point gets across, we can proceed. So how many of us think we are financially aware? How many of us know that ठीक है, जो भी है फाइनेंस में थोड़ा थोड़ा तो एटलीस्ट पता है, सारा शायद ना पता हो, एटलीस्ट थोड़ा बहुत पता होता है. How many of us think that is the case? Okay. Okay, I think so far, not many, because there's no one really here who has commented, but that's fine. अगर ऐसा है then you can please feel free to have your morning tea coffee and you can join in, but let's make sure that we are all interactive and engaged. Right, so I'll tell you financial awareness में what all is required and what all we will talk about. So we've all heard of the usual, MFs है, insurances है, ये वो. We all know all of that, that it exists. But I'm not sure how many of us would be knowing what actually goes on behind the scenes and which products are good for us, what is actually something that can give us a better return on our investment. Okay, so we'll talk about all of that. Now, first things first, when we talk about anything related to money, we have to understand that budgeting is important. अगर budgeting करेंगे, then it will become much easier to actually understand how much is coming in, how much is going out, and how we can improve that better. So इसके लिए we have these three things. I will just share my screen in a slightly different way if you just hold on for a bit. And there we go. Yeah, great. So I hope you can see the screen better now. Now I'll just annotate on the screen as well. Now cash inflows basically means that how much are you earning. So in this, perhaps you can list down all your income sources. Let's say that the main source may be your salary, and then maybe you have already some investments that are giving you some dividends or something. You can always classify that also कि ठीक है मुझे समझो हर quarter, every quarter, let's say you are getting 3,000 rupees in dividends. Maybe you can list down that as well, just to understand that okay, this is when I'm getting my money and this is how much of it I'm getting. Let's say you've got something else going on side mein. ऐसे ही many people these days like to do something side by side, whether it's a passion project or something. So let's say you've got some other source also, and that other source is giving you maybe 1500 rupees per month. I mean, it's a small amount, but these numbers can change. So all of these numbers you can just calculate that ठीक है, this is how much I am going to earn in any given month, and that way at least you know कि ठीक है मेरे को at least इतना मिलने वाला है, and based on that you can really plan your outflows as well. For example, let's say that you've got a certain expense that is coming up, and समझो Jan में you just have like 5,000 rupees as savings. You can understand that ठीक है next month में if I am going to earn this much, I can maybe plan that outflow better, and this way you can manage stuff. I mean, see, all of these things, I'm sure many of you might be doing it in your organizations also, because organizations में भी budgets होता है, वो सारी चीज होती है. But then why can't we do it for our personal finances as well? That's what this is all about. A company has to run lean, it has to run mean, and it has to be a money making machine, right? Why can't we be the same? So वही same principle पे we need to go, and we need to make sure that we are planning our inflows and outflows properly. Is the drawing visible? It's visible, no? Great. Next, we talk about the usage of credit cards. Now, credit cards is a very hot topic. ऐसा क्यों है? लोगों को लगता है credit cards, there is one group that will think credit cards are the best. There is one group that will think they are the worst. बहुत polarized opinions होते हैं credit cards पर. What the reason for this is that the people who think they are the best, they will think that it is in a way free money. Why? Because you don't have to repay it on the same day. अकाउंट से कट रहा नहीं है, इसलिए लोगों को लगता है इट इज फ्री मनी. हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस आर इन दिस ग्रुप? हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस थिंक क्रेडिट कार्ड्स आर गुड? एंड देयर इज नो राइट और रॉन्ग आंसर, आई विल जस्ट से, बट आई जस्ट वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड योर व्यूज आल्सो. Okay, I'm trying to see the chat as best as I can, trying to monitor it. Please let me know what you feel. In fact, if I can, I'll just launch a quick poll. Let me see if it's possible. Create poll. Great. I've just launched a poll. Let me know if you feel credit cards are good, they are bad, what your views are, what you feel. And this is just to understand your perceptions more than anything. Okay. Fine. Please make sure you are a little active. Fine. Point being that they are neither the best nor are they the worst. The people who think they are the worst think that it is a debt trap. उनको लगता है कि एक बार क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज करोगे उसके बाद all of your money will drain out. You will become a spendthrift. You will start spending left, right, and center because you don't feel the pinch at that time. So neither of those are correct. Credit cards are actually very useful in planning your cash flows. How? अगर आपका inflow certain time पे आ रहा है and if your outflow is a little earlier than that, let's say you earn on the 25th and your salary gets credited on the 25th, but every first of the month you have to pay something, maybe it's an insurance, maybe it's something else, then that credit card can help you bridge this gap. So the first thing is they can act as like a bridge financing way. मतलब जो जितना भी वो बीच का पीरियड होगा that they will cover. Another thing that credit cards can help you do, I'll just write bridge here. Another thing they can help you do is that they can give you EMI facility. What do I mean by EMIs? Credit card EMIs are very useful. In fact, there's a video of this on this channel itself. I will just show you where the video is at the end of the session or something. But credit card EMIs help us manage our finances even better. For instance, let's say that I have a 30,000 rupee payment due, and these are all relatively personal experiences. There is one, this amount in my case was around 69,000 or 60,000 or something. And what we did was we broke this down into 3 months EMI. So I can either pay the big amount in one shot, which will obviously put a hit on my overall cash flow, or I can break it down into 3 months, maybe एक दो हजार का cost लगेगा. But what this does is it helps me plan my overall finances better. And let's say that at the end of every month you've got 10,000 rupees that is there in your savings जैसे बोल सकते हैं. This is your empty money, idle money. You need to just make sure that you don't spend more than 10,000. As long as you do that, credit cards are not a debt trap. Because if you are spending less than what you have, you can never really go into debt that much. And of course, goes without saying, pay your bill consistently. If you do that, then of course nothing will really stop you from making the most of this. एंड ऑफ कोर्स और भी काफ़ी छोटे मोटे बेनिफिट्स होते हैं. रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट हो गए, लाउंज एक्सेस, ये वो, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज़ अ गिवन. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स, बट दैट फैसिलिटी इज ऑल्सो देयर. सो क्रेडिट कार्ड्स आर हेल्पफुल इन दैट ऑल्सो. Let me see if our poll has any responses. 67% of us feel it is good. That's good. Most of us feel that they are good, they are positive. There is some good aspect to it. Naturally, based on what I have said so far, I'm sure you would have figured out that I land in the good category. I feel that credit cards have a lot of value that they can give. It's just that we need to be smart about it. And there's another thing. The hidden thing is that they help you build your credit. Now, for those who have already taken a loan, for those who have already done something in terms of borrowing from banks or institutions, usko building credit is not relevant. But those who are very fresh, आपने कोई लोन नहीं लिया, आपने कोई credit card नहीं लिया, for you need to build credit, because in the future if you have to take a loan, any loan, if you want to apply for something, you will need a good CIBIL score. Starting off with a credit card, paying it on time builds your CIBIL score as well. CIBIL score क्या है? Let's say that all the banks and all the financial institutions are ranking people in terms of how diligent they are. They are ranking people in terms of how diligent they are. You want to make sure the banks think you are very diligent. Banks को ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि आप बहुत अच्छे से पेमेंट करते हो. That is basically your CIBIL score. The higher your CIBIL score is, the more diligent you are in repaying. So the banks and all will give you better interest rates, which is obviously beneficial for you. So that's what I mean when I say कि अच्छा credit build करना है, because that's important as well, right? I hope that we are relatively clear on this part. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Next is insurance. Question को थोड़ा time लगेगा, I'm sure, but please feel free to ask whenever we come to them. Insurance is the next thing. Now there are several types of insurance, and I think this is, personally speaking, I think this is the one industry where there is the most amount of mis-selling that happens. Those insurance agents आते हैं घर पे, स्वीट टॉक करते हैं, बोलते हैं कि अरे जब भी कुछ अनफॉर्चुनेट हो गया, आपको चाहिए कि पैसा हो, यू नीड टू हैव मनी, दिस दैट, एंड दे विल इंस्टिल सम फियर, and they will end up making you purchase very expensive policies. I'm sure we have all been there. I, for one, even though I'm sure, as you can make out, I'm relatively young, even I have been a victim to this mis-selling. So to beat that, we need to be smart about it. हम लोग को पता रहना चाहिए कि exactly which products these are. So they will typically say, they will market these products in this way. I'll tell you. टर्म प्लान बोलेंगे कि अरे इसमें तो फुल लॉस है, आपको 1 करोड़ का कवर मिलेगा, बट वैसे तो यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू डाई, सो ऑल योर मनी विल गो टू वेस्ट. क्यों लेना है टर्म प्लान? सो ऑब्वियसली समवन माइट थिंक अरे भाई लॉस हो रहा है, मेरे को पैसे वापस नहीं मिलने वाले, व्हाट्स द पॉइंट, राइट? आई एम श्योर समथिंग लाइक दिस मस्ट हैव हैपेंड विथ यू गाइज एज वेल एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. दैट्स व्हाई आपको लगता है अरे टर्म प्लान तो नहीं है. Then they talk about these three: ULIP, endowment, and money back plans. Now these can fall under the same bracket. The technicalities and the specificities are different, but they all talk about the same thing. They combine insurance and investment, and they will market these products so much, आपको लगेगा कि this is the one secret that you required for good financial peace. And let me tell you, that is the most wrong thing. बिकॉज आपका इंश्योरेंस का जो कंपोनेंट है वो टर्म प्लान वाला सेम यहाँ पे आता है, बट द इन्वेस्टमेंट कंपोनेंट, दीज गाइज व्हाट दे डू इज दे इन्वेस्ट इन एमएफ्स, दे इन्वेस्ट इन दे इन्वेस्ट इन बॉन्ड्स, सेम चीज़ें जो हम भी कर सकते हैं, बट इंस्टेड दे विल चार्ज वेरी हैवी फीस ऑन इट. दे विल से कि आप हर एक साल 1 लाख डालो और आपको 30 साल के बाद हम से सम absurd अमाउंट लाइक 20 लाख देंगे या 30 लाख देंगे या 40 लाख देंगे. एक्चुअली दे आर जस्ट डूइंग ऑल ऑफ दिस. हैड यू इन्वेस्टेड योर 1 लाख रुपीज स्टार्टिंग में इन सम एमएफ और समथिंग, यू वुड हैव हैड अ लॉट मोर इन रिटर्न. बट द रीजन व्हाई दे सेल ऑल ऑफ दिस इज बिकॉज कमीशन. So remember, commission से थोड़ा दूर रहना है, and there's no harm in paying commission as long as you are actually getting good stuff in return. Term plan still makes a bit of sense क्योंकि इसमें क्या है, in the unfortunate event if something happens, then you are covered, rather your family is covered. But for these, there is no point. I'm not sure how many of us know what insurance actually was and how it started. इंश्योरेंस का जो ओरिजिनल डिस्कवरी था, दैट वाज फ्रॉम व्हाट आई रिकॉल, इट वाज व्हेन देयर वर मर्चेंट्स, राइट? जो मर्चेंट्स थे जो सेल करते थे, व्हेन देयर गुड्स एंड ऑल हैड द लाइकलीहुड ऑफ बीइंग डैमेज्ड, दे गॉट इंश्योरेंस टू मेक श्योर दैट द इंश्योरेंस मनी कैन मेक good on a loss. Insurance is always something that makes good on your loss. It is not profit. Insurance से profit नहीं होता. Profit सिर्फ investment से होता है. So that's why, let's say कार का example लेते हैं. Your car insurance is to make good on a loss. Let's say गाड़ी का bumper scratch हो गया and you feel like ठीक है चलो insurance claim कर देते हैं. इंश्योरेंस विल पे यू फॉर दैट बम्पर. दे वोंट से कि अरे बम्पर तो ले लिया तुमने, चलो गाड़ी का स्टेरियो भी अपग्रेड कर लो, 10,000 हमारी तरफ से, एंजॉय. दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू डू दिस. बट these plans will tell you कि ऐसा भी करेंगे ये भी करेंगे. इन रिटर्न दे विल चार्ज यू अ लॉट मोर. सो टर्म प्लान का प्रीमियम अगर समझो 5,000 या वैसा कुछ होने वाला है, देन these premiums can be in excess of 100,000 also. And that's the difference. इतना बड़ा difference है. Now you imagine if you have that spare 95,000 to invest every year. चलो उसमें से 5,000 यू कट इट. आपको लगता है मैं 5,000 नहीं इन्वेस्ट करूंगा, सिर्फ 90,000 इन्वेस्ट करूंगा. 90,000 इन्वेस्टेड फॉर इवन 10 years, absolute amount will be 9 lakh rupees, but this amount will probably be more towards that 25 to 30 lakh rupees all said and done. After, I'm just taking a ballpark figure, taking an average interest rate that you would earn. So इसके वजह से avoid the mis-selling that often frequently happens. Just be aware of your options. ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा कि सिर्फ term plan ही लो. I'm not against any particular thing, which is why I said I have been a victim of mis-selling. और मैंने भी ऐसे कोई कोई plans लिए हैं which were not that bad, but majority of them are like this. जो भी commissions के लिए करते हैं salesmen, वो they will end up selling you all of that only. Okay. Then we come to health insurance. Now health insurance is a different ball game. Obviously health insurance तो अच्छा होना ही चाहिए. So there are several types of it. Basically ultimately क्या है, the main aim is to again make good on the loss. So in case there is a loss that you financially incur because कुछ medical hospitalization हो जाता है, then all of these are there. And इसमें भी there are several sort of things that you need to keep in mind कि समझो ये ही covered है वो ही covered है. Then there are riders that you can purchase. For example, let's say कि one I think popular rider is a cancer rider. Some policies add it on that you have to pay for this and only then we will cover. वैसा सारी चीज़ें होती है. So just make sure that you understand that. And the one thing that really bogs people down in this is कि लोगों को लगता है कि whatever the salesman is telling you, that is going to be accurate and that is all the information you need. No, make sure you ask questions. समझ में नहीं आता तो 10-15 बार पूछ लो. This holds true for our webinar also. Ask as many questions as you want, because at the end of the day it is your money, right? It is your money that you will be paying to this guy. It is your money that you will be paying to Mediclaim and all. Also understand the tax implications, because many times these insurance payments are tax deductible. So understand how that plays into your income tax returns also. Now my father is a CA, so maybe he can answer that. I can't because I'm not a CA. But yes, you should definitely ask your own CA, the person who files your returns, and then maybe you will get a better idea कि क्या क्या है. Property insurance is also there. Property insurance basically क्या करता है, that it safeguards you in the event of a theft, in the event of a fire, in the event of some calamity. And this also applies to your belongings. So let's say you've got belongings of 5 lakh rupees in your house, something or the other happens, और वो 5 लाख में से 3 lakh rupee का worth of stuff is broken or something. Many times property insurance will reimburse you for this also. But it depends. You have to see कि क्या क्या है. And naturally this will most of the times apply to homeowners only, because it's homeowners insurance. But you can check in case you're renting. It's always good to have a word with your landlord or someone and understand कि क्या है, whether they have insurance, whether you can get insurance if you want or not. Because many people have expensive things at home, whether it's some painting, whether it's some jewelry or something. Maybe at that time this can come into good use. Okay. Any questions so far? I think we can take a minute break just to see if everyone's on the same page, and then we can resume. Okay, great. I think so far तो we have no questions. तो ठीक है, no problem. चलता है. I just want to know, is this helpful so far? ऐसा कुछ लग रहा है that okay, you know, we are learning something new, or maybe at least we are thinking about it a lot more than we did, because I'm sure many of us might already know this कि हाँ ठीक है, ये सारी चीज़ होती है, but not all of us would have given it that thought कि अच्छा ये सारी चीज़ों के बारे में भी सोचना होता है. So I hope all of that is happening, because at the end of the day when you question all of these things, तब भी हम लोग और सीख सकते हैं, तब भी हम लोग better decisions ले सकते हैं. So again, any questions even after we resume, please feel free to ask. The chat is open for you. In fact, the more questions you ask, the more energy I get. So you know how in those games you have to feed a character and you have to make sure that you know you give them something, only then they become stronger. These things are like that. तुम लोग chat में एकदम डालते हो तो I will get stronger. So make sure that happens. And yeah, I think we can resume now. So now we talk about savings. Now savings क्या होते हैं? Savings, many people sort of confuse it with investments. That is not true. We will see how savings and investments are different, but just give me a bit. Okay, we'll start off with bank accounts. बैंक अकाउंट में सेविंग्स अकाउंट होता है, टिपिकल वट एवर योर अकाउंट इज देयर, खाता जो होता है बैंक में डाल देते हैं पैसा. देन वी हैव एफडीज क्या होते हैं? लेट्स से यू हैव 1 लाख रुपी स्पेयर, 1 लाख रुपया है, एफडी में डाल दिया. एफडी लेट्स से गिव्स यू 6% इंटरेस्ट. एक साल के बाद योर 1 लाख रुपी हैज गिवन यू 6,000 rupees of interest. That is the concept behind FDs. Very simple. Now FD में interest rates are fairly low. Now because RBI is hiking rates, उसके वजह से interest rates are going up. But that being said, this return is still fairly low from what you can actually get, which is why FDs are not an investment in my view at least. They are for many people and I respect that. बट मेरे लिए एफडीज इन माई व्यू आर मोर ऑफ सेविंग्स, क्योंकि यू आर पार्किंग द फंड्स. सो फंड्स पार्क करके यू आर जस्ट लेटिंग इट सिट देयर. अनदर थिंग, मैनी पीपल थिंक दैट ब्रेकिंग एफडीज इज अ सिन. उनको लगता है एफडी तोड़ दी तो मतलब क्या हो जाएगा, पुलिस घर पे आके बोलेगी अरे खोलो दरवाजा, एफडी तोड़िए, गिरफ्तार करना पड़ेगा. देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दैट. You just have to pay a small fee, and that fee is also nominal if any. Many banks don't even have that fee all of the time. So बस उतना होता है. So in case you have to break the FD, that's also fine. So don't think that it is a contract where you have to honor the time commitment. इसकी maturity होती है. Maturity is the lock-in period. 1 साल, 2 साल, 3 साल, 5 साल, etc. And these maturities have different interest rates. For example, maybe 1 year का 6% है, 2 years का कुछ और होगा. So that is how it works. Again, you can withdraw it early also if you want. You just have to go through the paperwork, maybe pay a small fee, which is not too bad. If my memory serves me right, it cannot legally be more than 2.5% of the interest you have earned. But please don't quote me on this, because this was a long time back that I visited this number. So maybe it has changed. It most likely has changed. So just to give you a ballpark, that is what it was at that time. Maybe abhi change hua ho. Then we have something called as RDs. RD matlab recurring deposit. Many of us know about SIPs now. SIPs matlab kya? SIPs matlab let's say every month you are putting in 1,000 rupees. ये आपका जमा हो जाता है एक account में. Similarly, RDs are like SIPs but for FDs. Basically you are putting in a certain amount of money, एक predetermined amount of money आप डाल रहे हो एक FD के अंदर in a way, and that accumulates. RDs are also good. Let's say आपको आप सोचते हो कि मैं हर महीने 1,000 रुपए सेव करूंगा या करूंगी, तो वो 1,000 रुपए की let's say you've got an RD or something, you can just put it and it stays. Maybe you consider that as your emergency fund. That stays with you. It's different from savings because I feel even on a more psychological level, savings account में होता है ना, you don't always think that it is something that is there for you to actually keep. Many people end up many people end up just spending savings account. So अगर ऐसा कुछ है, then you can put it in an RD. Again, there are positives and negatives, but these options are there. Then we have PPF, VPF and NPS. These are basically saving cum investment tools that my father will be talking about shortly. So इसके लिए we will revisit these. But these are also very useful, and there are other benefits also to PPF that we'll talk about. But keep in mind कि ये है, we'll revisit them today itself. Then we've got mutual funds. Mutual funds में there are several types. How many of us know about mutual funds? I'll do a quick poll just to understand कि हमारा mutual funds का क्या है. Okay, good to hear, Mihir, that it's helpful. Good to hear that. Trying to launch a poll. I'm not sure why I can't. Okay, great. Poll हो गया. Are you? Okay. I've launched a poll. Do you know about mutual funds? Let me know. अगर आपको म्यूचुअल फंड्स के बारे में पता है, अगर अच्छी जानकारी है, देन आंसर यस. इफ यू आरंट दैट श्योर, देन आंसर नो. अगेन देयर इज नो राइट और रॉन्ग आंसर. इफ यू आरंट अवेयर ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड्स, दैट्स फाइन. इसीलिए तो हम आज मिले हैं, टू लर्न. If you know about mutual funds, well and good. I hope I can at least add on to what you already know and refresh your memory. So please do let me know. We'll wait for a bit. I will move on, but I'll keep on checking the polls that are there, and then we can talk about it. Mutual funds, mein there are different types of funds. You've got equity funds, you've got debt funds, okay? You've got hybrid funds. You've got in this you've got various ways of investing. So one is like you just invest a lump sum amount. One is you invest in an SIP. SIP मतलब let's say हर महीने आप सोचते हो 5,000 रुपये I will invest. So that 5,000 rupees gets invested in a fund, right? So this is how it works. Now at their heart mutual funds क्या होते हैं? They are just like let's say they are like a big brother in a way. Okay, हम सब समझो छोटे भाई हैं, right? भाई बहन है. We are all young people, and let's say we have 10 rupees pocket money, all of us. But वो 10 rupees से हम क्या करेंगे? We can't even buy a decent stock. शायद वोडाफोन आइडिया का स्टॉक आ जाएगा, बट लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट, नॉट एवरीवन वांट्स दैट. सो हम सोचते हैं अरे 10 रुपए है, क्या करें इसका. व्हाट वी डू इज वी कलेक्टिवली कम टुगेदर, वी डिसाइड कि एक काम करते हैं, हम सभी के पास 10-10 रुपए है. लेट अस गैदर एवरीवन दैट इज देयर हु हैज 10 रुपीज, एंड देन वी विल गिव टू बड़े भैया. बड़े भैया डाल देंगे कोई इन्वेस्ट करके, और फिर बड़े भैया हमें पैसा वापस कर देंगे जो भी रिटर्न्स है उसके साथ. सो ऐसे हम सब इकट्ठा करके मिलते हैं, एंड लेट्स से देयर आर 100 ऑफ अस. ठीक है, 100 ऑफ अस इंटू 10 रुपीज इज 1,000. सो 1,000 रुपया, 1,000 रुपीज वी आर गिविंग इट टू आवर बड़े भैया. बड़े भैया लेते हैं 1,000 रुपये. वो 1,000 रुपये वो इन्वेस्ट करते हैं 10% पे. एट द एंड ऑफ 1 ईयर वी हैव 1,100 रुपीज. 1,100 रुपीज है, एंड दैट 1,100 इज स्प्लिट बाय द 100 ऑफ अस, which gives us 11. Okay, now in reality, in practicality, बड़े भैया is not that charitable. बड़े भैया भी उनका खुद का कट लेंगे, but that we are not considering for simplicity sake. But this is practically what mutual funds are. अभी हम लोग ने बात की थी कि ये होते हैं, इक्विटी होते हैं, डेट होते हैं. Equity and debt basically dictates what बड़े भैया can invest in. So if you've understood this much, you're practically good with mutual funds. but there are different types of funds and all that are there, that if you want we can talk about. If you don't, then that's perfectly fine as well. Let me see. Okay, as of now most of us know about MFs. Great. I hope this has refreshed your memory at least. Okay, so MFs में ये होता है. MFs में there is also a dividend or a growth plan. ये dividend होना चाहिए, not dividing, but that's fine. Dividend meaning at the end of every period you will get dividend. Growth meaning वो dividend आपको नहीं मिलेगा, instead it will grow. Instead it will grow, your investment will grow. There are also something called as DRIPs. DRIPs are dividend reinvestment plans. Dividend reinvestment plan. Let's say आपके 100 रुपए आपको 10 रुपया डिविडेंड देते हैं. Then instead of paying this out to you, instead that 10 rupees will be invested along with your 100 to make your total investment 110. This is how DRIPs work. Okay, again this is something you can use. अगर cash flow का requirement नहीं है, recall that some time back we spoke about cash flows, right? Cash flows. If you think that you don't need the dividends to meet your outflows, you can reinvest them and earn more. Okay, फिर आते हैं हम लोग इन्वेस्टमेंट्स पर. दिस वॉज मोर अबाउट सेविंग्स. नाउ दिस इज प्योर इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रैक्टिकली. हाउ आर दे डिफरेंट? सेविंग्स is to park your money. Investments is to grow your money. ठीक है, this you can understand it in this way. Okay, stocks no need to explain क्या होता है. I'm sure many of us work in Adani companies only. Then I'm sure Adani companies में तो there is that the word stock requires no introduction with the kind of appreciation that Adani companies have seen. So ये बताने की तो I really don't think ज़रूरत है. But what we need to understand instead is कि stocks के कौन से types होते हैं and how stocks are helpful. Dividends. Dividend companies, most popular ones are companies like ITC, companies like IOC, companies like Vedanta, right? Very popular for dividends only. ये dividend companies क्या करते हैं? Let's say that the price of a company is 100 and in 1 year they are giving out, let's say 10 rupees in dividends. That means dividend yield is 10% for the company. मतलब company is giving 10 rupees to all of its shareholders per share. So अगर आपके पास 1000 शेयर है इस कंपनी के, you would get 10,000 rupees in dividends, and that is how it would work. Okay, तो one way is dividend, other way is capital appreciation. 100 रुपए का अगर 110 रुपए होता है, you still benefit because your investment is increasing. Then there is trading. Trading is for short term gains. Okay, trading is for short term gains. Let's say you feel that a certain company has potential. 100 रुपए पे लेते हो, 2 महीने बाद 105 में बेच रहे हो, 5% कमाया, short term capital gains. Then we've got bonds. ये हो गया equity. Bonds, debt. Debt मतलब उधारी. When you are investing in a bond, you are giving someone उधार. अगर आप बॉन्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, आप किसी को उधार दे रहे हो, एंड दैट उधार का जो रिटर्न है, दैट इज द इंटरेस्ट रेट और ब्याज, राइट? ब्याज. When you borrow from banks are giving you an udhar, you're paying them interest. But when the roles are reversed, if let's say you are a bank, you are giving someone udhar, आप सामने interest ले रहे हो उससे. That is what bonds are. Bonds can be for companies, they can be for government, so you can lend to the government, you can lend to companies and all. That is bonds. They are classified as fixed income investments or debt. Fixed income क्यों? Because the व्याज अमाउंट इज फिक्स्ड, डिसाइडेड है कि 6%, मतलब 6%। वो 7 पर ऐसा नहीं बोलेगा अरे इतना अच्छा सर्विस दिया ये लो 7% दे देता हूँ, ऐसा कोई नहीं करने वाला। इट इज फिक्स्ड एट 6%। दैट इज वाई इट्स कॉल्ड फिक्स्ड इनकम एंड दैट इज वाई debt investments are different. Then we've got gold. Gold as an investment can be in various types. You can have physical gold that you can stuff in your lockers, under your mattress and all, or wear it. And then you've got paper gold or digital gold. Digital gold and all you can buy from platforms like Zerodha, Paytm and 5 Paisa and all these platforms that are there, you can buy digital gold. You can also buy gold bonds. SGB नाम का है, sovereign gold bond, you can buy that. Okay, these are this. Any questions up until now, please feel free to ask. If not, we move on. I mean, we're going to move on either way, but just let me know if you have questions. फिर आते हैं contingency funds. Contingency funds are basically when you are saving for an emergency. Okay, I'll give you an example. Unfortunately, this is a recent example that we have all experienced. I say unfortunately because it is COVID. COVID के टाइम पे there were many layoffs. बहुत सारे layoffs हुए थे. Many people had unfortunately lost their jobs. No income, no nothing. You survive on what you have. So what would you have in that case? You would have your contingency fund. Let's say you decide that अगर कल जाके जॉब चली गई, सैलरी नहीं मिली, सैलरी कट हुई, then you want to have 6 months of your salary ready in case you have any expenses. This number can vary, by the way. 6 months का 3 months हो सकता है, 12 months हो सकता है. It is all subjective. It depends on your expenses. यहाँ पे back calculate करके you figure out how much you need. But let's say your salary is, for example, 50,000. You decide that you want at least 4 months of salary in your contingency fund. So you save 2 lakh rupees and that 2 lakh rupees you park it. Park कर देते हो किधर, and your main aim is for it not to give you a return, but instead what you want from it is कि अगर कुछ eventuality होती है then you have it at least. फिर प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं होगा. ओके, देन वी गॉट रियल एस्टेट. इन टुडेज डे एंड एज it has a very 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 steep entry barrier, because real estate, at least, so we're in Mumbai, right? I mean, you might be knowing Mumbai real estate is through the roof. So real estate is not really a viable investment in some places anymore, but it is still an investment because आपको रेंट मिलता है, आपका अप्रिशिएट हो सकता है, आप रह सकते हो उसके अंदर, यू कैन स्टे इन इट एंड you can take a loan and invest. Now this is probably the best part about real estate, because a bank is not going to give you a loan to buy shares, but a bank will happily give you a loan to buy a house. So वो एक factor आ जाता है. So yeah, up until now, any questions, please let me know. CGT on digital gold is high, so which is better, SGB or digital gold? See, it really depends on the specifics, right? So typically what I do is I go for a gold ETF. Gold ETF. I will show you, in fact, I have a video of the gold ETF also. Let me go on the channel. I'll show it to you. Gold ETF का एक video है मेरा.
You can send the link.
Yeah, I'll send the link also, but I'll just give them an idea. Personal finance में रहेगा mostly. Yeah, how to invest in gold for less than the cost of a chai and samosa. Okay, so in this video I basically talk about how you can invest in gold for 40 rupees at that time. What is this? This is an ETF called Kotak Gold. I don't endorse it or anything. This is just what I have. इसलिए मतलब I'm giving you full disclosure. But Kotak Gold जो है 40 rupees at that time. This was in August 2021. Okay, 40 rupees में you can get the same exposure to gold. And if you want to put in small amounts, then this is a good way, I would say, or at least a decent way. Okay, let's quickly talk about this also. ये क्या है? This is power of compounding. It is the snowball effect, and this is what will actually help you make money out of your money. So power of compounding क्या कहता है? Basically, if you've got 100 rupees, next year you earn 10 on it, you have 110. Next year, this is interest rate at 10%, by the way. Next year you earn 10% on this, you get 11. You invest it, you have 121. 121 पे you earn 12.1, you invest it, you have how much? 133.1, right? ऐसे कर करके you are investing, and there is a snowball effect. The main prerequisite for the power of compounding is time and patience. It doesn't matter what you invest in, power of compounding works using this. This is a quick sort of example, because it shows that the earlier you start, the better it is. In this case, Sachin is investing 2000 rupees per year from when he is 19 till the time he is 26. Okay, so how much is he investing? From 19 to 26, right? From 19 to 26, he's putting in money for 8 total years. Okay, 8 years in total he's putting in money. मतलब उसने डाला है 16,000 रुपया. His friend is Robin. Robin सोचता है अरे I am going to invest बाद में, अभी तो पार्टी करेंगे. So right after Sachin stops investing, Robin starts investing the same 2000 rupees. But he thinks कि सचिन तो बस 8 साल इन्वेस्ट किया, मैं उसको दिखाता हूँ, I will invest for 32 years. So this guy invests for 32 years. As a result, he has invested 64,000. Right, a lot more than how much Sachin had. Then when they are 58, they are sitting together. They are like, oh, तेरा investment portfolio कितना है? Sachin says, मेरा तो 2,70,000 है. Robin says, 2,70,000, mine is almost 2,90,000, 20,000 ज़्यादा. But Sachin says, oh भाई मेरे, मैंने 16,000 डाला था. Robin says, oh, मैंने तो 64,000 डाला था. So what this says is कि Sachin, just because he started earlier, 16 times growth, and Robin, because he started later, 4 times growth. Sachin made more money based on his investment. Why? Time and patience. Both are getting the same amount of return, 8%. There is no difference in return. But because Sachin started earlier, he got more benefit out of this. Moral of the story, or the point of this slide being, there's that Chinese proverb that says that the best time to plant a tree was 10 years, 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. So right now the markets might be shut, but your internet is not. देखो, research करो, and you can always put in money in something that feels safe and secure to you, but it offers good return also. I'm not telling you इसमें डालो उसमें डालो, but I am telling you कि डालो, because at least उससे कुछ होगा. Okay, any other questions? I think we're overall good. Now my father will take over, UR will take over, and he'll talk about wealth building. So yeah.
Come. I will start. You can start direct. Okay, namaskar friends. Welcome to this live session, and my name is Umesh Rindani. You were listening to and watching Krunal Rindani, my son. So जैसे कृणाल ने कहा कि I will talk about I think it's on the other earlier slides of savings.
Yes, I'll go
Uh,
with that.
Yeah, I will talk about PPF, VPF, and NPS. Now, why he has asked me to talk about this is simply because I have had very good experience with this. एंड मेरी लाइफ में जो भी कुछ रियल कंट्रीब्यूशन हुआ है वो आप यहाँ पे देख सकोगे एंड वन ऑफ देम ही हैज़ ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन द पावर ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग आई विल कम टू इट लेटर सो ये जो पीपीएफ है पब्लिक प्रोविडेंट फंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको पूछना ज़रूरी है कि डू यू हैव ए पीपीएफ अकाउंट कैन यू क्विकली लेट अस नो यू कैन पुट योर रिस्पॉन्स इन द कमेंट सेक्शन बट अगर आपके पास पीपीएफ अकाउंट नहीं है तो immediately nowadays I think you can open ppf accounts online as well so whoever is your bank with whom you have an internet banking facility you should open a ppf account the reason is very simple if you have looked at the power of compounding example where Sachin and Robin were comparing their wealth after certain number of years वहाँ पे आपने देखा होगा कि अर्लियर इफ़ यू इन्वेस्ट द बेटर नाउ इन माई ओन केस आई थिंक आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हेन एक्चुअली आई स्टार्टेड माई पीपीएफ अकाउंट बिकॉज इट इज़ आई हैव रिन्यूड इट मोर देन ट्वाइस सो इट मस्ट बी 15 प्लस 25 ईयर्स तो हो गए रहेंगे वो अकाउंट को बट व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड आई वॉज नॉट रेगुलर इन इन्वेस्टिंग सो वॉट आई वॉज डूइंग इज because I had opened an account, I was putting in 100 rupees. Because, sorry, that was the minimum amount that needed to be paid. But when I actually started earning well and I was able to save money, जैसे कृणाल ने आपको यहाँ पे दिखाया under this head, then I started putting in more money. फिर जैसे मुझे knowledge हुआ कि PPF whatever investments I make in PPF to the extent of certain limit as defined by the income tax rules are exempt, then I started putting the entire amount into that. फिर मुझे जब भी मेरी शादी हुई उसके बाद when by that time I had realized the power of PPF because it is nothing but a classic example of the power of compounding. So I opened my wife's PPF account also. और ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको खुद का ही अकाउंट ओपन कर सकते हो यू कैन ओपन अकाउंट इन द नेम ऑफ योर वाइफ इन द नेम ऑफ योर चिल्ड्रन ऑल्सो एंड इफ योर वाइफ इज ऑल्सो अर्निंग शी कैन कंट्रीब्यूट थ्रू हर अकाउंट एंड शी विल गेट द बेनिफिट ये क्या बेनिफिट मिलेगा इनकम टैक्स सेक्शन में वो आप देख सकते हो गूगल कर सकते हो या तो आपके इनकम टैक्स कंसल्टेंट को आप चेक कर सकते हो सीए को चेक कर सकते हो बट द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज़ दैट दिस इज़ द इंटरेस्ट जो आपको मिलता है उसके पर कोई टैक्स नहीं लगता है दिस इज़ द ओनली इंस्ट्रूमेंट विच गिव्स यू टैक्स फ्री इंटरेस्ट एंड you can calculate 8% what Krunal mentioned. So that is the interest that you are going to get over a long period of time. Of course, the interest rate may keep on changing, but more or less it will remain the same because government would not like to, get this is the main, you can say, investment source that the government has to get money from the public. This is from where government gets its money. Public Provident Fund सो पब्लिक सब उसमें पैसा जमा करती है. And a lot will depend, because another biggest thing advantage of PPF is that PPF is one of the very few instruments that can never get attached by the government. नाउ आपने केसेस तो देखे होंगे, जब आजकल तो रोज आता है कि ईडी अटैचेस प्रॉपर्टीज वर्थ सो मेनी crores and thousands of crores of so and so so and so. ये आज मैंने देखा कोई नीरव मोदी का 250 करोड़ की हांगकांग में प्रॉपर्टी है, वो अटैच कर दी. तो भले हम और आप लोग सब ऐसे किस्म के लोग नहीं है, बट even in the worst case scenario, your PPF money will remain your own and nobody will be able to attach. This is nowhere written because government does not want you to know, or whatever it is. I don't know the reason. I came to know because of my interactions and reading with on these things, and that is a good thing. It's a bonus. As it is, PPF is a great investment avenue, because why? It is savings which turn out to be investment in the long run, and that is why I use the word investment. VPF, अगर आप नौकरी कर रहे हो तो आपको प्रोविडेंट फंड एम्प्लॉयर एंड एम्प्लॉई कंट्रीब्यूशन होता है. Nowadays, most of the employers contribute only the bare minimum that is required to be contributed. So when I was also, serving in corporates, at one point of time I realized that I am having good amount of salary, and अगर मैं ये सैलरी घर पे बैंक अकाउंट में लेके जाऊंगा तो आई मे जस्ट स्पेंड ऑन थिंग्स हियर एंड देयर विच मे नॉट ऐड टू एनीथिंग. सो whatever PF contribution that I was supposed to make, I increased that contribution by 4 to 5 times under VPF category, Voluntary Provident Fund. And believe me, friends, this was one of the wisest decisions that I had taken in my life. Because ये मुझे इतना काम आया कि पूछो मत. अगर आप पूछेंगे तो मैं जवाब ज़रूर दूंगा, लेकिन separately, not over here. And the another thing is NPS, National Pension Scheme. Again, there is an app which you can download from Google Play Store, ENPS. ऑनलाइन अकाउंट ओपन कर सकते हो आप, ऑनलाइन कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हो. अगेन देयर इज एन इनकम टैक्स रिलीफ फॉर दिस, एंड दिस इज नथिंग बट एन एक्सटेंशन ऑफ पीपीएफ. आपको एनपीएस पेंशन मिलता रहेगा आफ्टर सर्टन एज, एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो विड्रॉ द अमाउंट. You can withdraw the amount from PPF subject to rules. It is generally open for 15 years and then every 5 years you have to renew it. तो ये बहुत ही अच्छी चीज़ है, आपको ज़रूर करनी चाहिए. एंड इफ़ यू हैव नॉट येट ओपनड योर अकाउंट्स, आई स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड दैट यू डू सो नाउ ओनली ड्यूरिंग दिस वीकेंड. एंड बिकॉज from Monday, from now itself, you should start and calculating the benefits of power of compounding that you are going to get. Here, can you move to the wealth slide? Okay, wealth building. Now, building अगर आप बना सकते हो खुद के लिए, that is the biggest wealth that I can think of. And during lifetime and retirement usage. So wealth building is a process. Now this process, जैसे काफ़ी बार ऐसा बोलते हैं कि life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. So वैसे ही wealth building is not a sprint, it is a marathon. First you have to start with savings. Savings कैसे करते हैं? जैसे मैं जब भी छोटा था, maybe I am the eldest in the group, I don't even know, but मैं जब भी छोटा था तो एक हमारे वहाँ पे एक स्कूल में एक बैंक थी, संचयिता करके. सो वी वर एनकरेज टू डिपॉजिट 5 रुपीज़ पर मंथ. नाउ सो एंड एवर सिंस आई वॉज अ किड, स्मॉल किड, in 3rd or 4th standard, we got into this habit. And I also remember that when I could not even reach the bank counter, of देना बैंक, जहाँ पे हमारे फैमिली का अकाउंट था, when I was really of 3 to 4 years of age, every Saturday my father used to take me to the bank in the morning, और मैं 2 रुपया वहाँ पे डिपॉजिट करता था. ऐसा मेरा हाथ काउंटर पे बस उतना ही पहुँचता था. That used to be my height, And from there, got into the habit of savings, and then those savings led me to investments, and those investments helped me start the foundation for wealth building. So wealth building you can do only after achieving certain number of years of savings and investment, because wealth आपको create करनी है तो आपको पैसा ज़्यादा लगेगा. एंड कभी और ये ऐसा है कि वी we are not from a family which where I was born with a silver spoon in mouth. I was also like any Tom, Dick and Harry ordinary person. तो मैंने भी खुद के कमाई से, खुद की मेहनत से आई स्टार्टेड सेविंग एंड अर्निंग and then investing. And so I have just started the process of wealth building. I have gathered a lot of knowledge, and all this knowledge over a period of time. Now many people will think that why am I talking at the age of 50 plus, why this person is talking about wealth building. Well, no, I really don't know how long am I going to stay, but as long I am here on this earth, I would like to build this legacy of wealth building. I would like to leave things behind for the next few generations, so that उनको ऐसी struggle ना करनी पड़े जो मुझे करनी पड़ी थी initially. So this is one of the greatest thing, and today whatever I am doing, whatever efforts I am doing, are all focused towards improving the investments and improving wealth building. And this has become my passion as well, and that is one of the reasons why ये हम लोग webinar करते हैं on and off, कि अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी ज़रूरी है. और अवेयरनेस क्रिएट नहीं करेंगे तो दूसरे लोगों को पता कैसे चलेगा कि वेल्थ हाउ इम्पॉर्टेंट इट इज़ टू क्रिएट. एंड द बेस्ट थिंग or the not so good thing about actually the wealth is it takes a long time to build wealth. सो रिटायरमेंट यूजेज के लिए वेल्थ करनी है तो आपको शायद ग्रेजुएशन के बाद इमीडिएटली इन्वेस्ट सेविंग्स चालू करना पड़ेगा. देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू हैव गुड अमाउंट ऑफ वेल्थ एट द टाइम ऑफ रिटायरमेंट through the schemes or various investments and saving options that you have already seen. We can move to the next slide, KR. Inheritance will. ये इंडिया में ये सब्जेक्ट काफ़ी टची है. इनहेरिटेंस विल माने फर्स्ट थिंग इस घर के अंदर ज़रूर कुछ गड़बड़ है, फैमिली के अंदर अनबन है और तनाव है. इसकी वजह से ये लोग इनहेरिटेंस और विल की बात कर रहे हैं. द रियलिटी इज़ दैट इट इज़ नॉट सो एट ऑल. इनहेरिटेंस एंड विल इज़ एब्सोल्युटली एसेंशियल. यू मे नॉट बिलीव, लेकिन हमारे फैमिली में मेरे पिताजी ने अपना विल बना दिया है, मैंने विल बना दिया है, मेरी वाइफ ने विल बना दिया है. तो ये KR is our son, and many people in today's age may think that मेरे को तो एक ही बेटी है या एक ही हमारे को एक ही बेटा है तो विल बनाने की क्या ज़रूरत है, उसको ही जाएगा ना सब. भाई ऐसा नहीं है. बिकॉज दिस इज़ वी आर लिविंग इन अ कंप्लायंस ड्रिवन एज. यहाँ पे इतने सारे KYC के मसले हैं, डिजिटाइजेशन बोलते हैं लेकिन हुआ नहीं है काफ़ी जगह पे, and there are a lot of hurdles. So inheritance and will need to be sorted out, and the process of this is very simple. Actually speaking, will आपको register करने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, but if you register, it is a good thing. And the important thing is that whatever you inherit is actually, the process of inheritance is very cumbersome, because if there are certain documentations and all that I mean if I talk about it, it will take a very long time. But I have learnt it from the experts, and then only my will has been finalized. So there is no age to finalize one's will. You can, even if you are 35, 40, 55 or 65, you, at any age you can finalize your will, decide what is going to be your inheritance. और ये विल और इनहेरिटेंस ऐसी चीज़ है जहाँ पे आपको लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है ये विल रजिस्टर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट में कि मेरे पास 25 प्रॉपर्टीज़ है, 500 कंपनी के शेयर है, 7,000 एफडीज है. You don't need to do all that those things. You just need to, it's a legal document that you need to prepare. To that you can attach all your assets, and then you can decide which asset will go which way. All that allocation you can do separately. So there is a set process, and if you people are interested, if this upskilling at Adani Shantigram family is interested, I can arrange for a separate session on that to be conducted by the people, the who have been very helpful in making sure that we finalize our will. So if you all will, I will help you in the will process and inheritance process, and all this will come to you without any charge. Friends, please don't think कि इसके पीछे मेरा कुछ cut या commission है. Whatever we are doing is transparent and clean. So I think that brings us to the close of this webinar, but please don't go away because we have something for you, and KR will talk to you about that. KR, it's about that. Okay, see you then.
Okay, so I hope this has been an informative session for you, at least today, and I'm sure कि कल का session और extra informative हो जाएगा. In the meantime, what we have for you here is basically a way to sort of connect with us more. तो हम लोग ने क्या किया है, we have created a Calendly link for you, using which you can have a quick chat with UR and us. So I will share that link with you shortly. वो लिंक में बेसिकली आप क्या कर पाओगे, इफ़ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस, अगर आपको कुछ एडिशनल जानना है ऐसा, आई विल जस्ट stop this display, I will enable this, and हाँ, बेसिकली अगर आपको कोई भी ऐसे क्वेश्चंस है दैट यू वांट टू डिस्कस एनी स्पेसिफिक थिंग्स दैट इज देयर, दैट इज bothering, or any questions that you have, तो वो उसके थ्रू you can just connect with us for a short call, and you can sort of get your answers from UR.
No charge.
No charge, of course, free of cost. Again, जो भी as UR said, इसमें हमारा commercial interest as such कुछ नहीं है, zero commercial interest. So any questions or something you have, I'm just sending the link on the chat, and yes, I can see it has come through. Again, no cost for it. Just want to reiterate that, क्योंकि आज के ज़माने में सब लोग सारी चीज़ बेच रहे हैं. अगर हवा के भी पैसे लगते तो शायद वो भी चार्जेबल बेसिस पे हो जाता. So I just want to reiterate that it is free of cost. You can just need to click on the link, and actually I'll show you how you can click on it also. Yeah. So when you click on this thing, when you click on the link, it will take you to this. अब यहाँ से you can select which time, which date you want it, and आप देख सकते हो, let's say you are free on 25th शाम को, then you can select a time. Let's say you are free today, you can select a time. So ऐसा करके you will be able to select what time works for you best, and how you can exactly connect with us. So this is something additional that we thought we'd give you, क्योंकि आप अब तक बने रहे हो and you've decided to actually learn. So yeah, that's about it for today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow as well.
Tomorrow, what we will cover, we can talk about that.
Sure, you'd like to step in? UR will share the agenda for tomorrow as well.
Okay, thank you for being with us till the very end. And I'm sure your time of 15 minutes will be well spent if you dial us. So, tomorrow, what we are going to talk about more is the simply, basically, the tools that see. I don't know whether all of you have read the introductory note which was posted on the upskilling group. तो हमारा जो है वी आर बोथ के आर एंड माई सेल्फ आर इन टू स्टॉक मार्केट्स सो वी विल डू वॉट इज बेस्ट फॉर यू what we want you to know is that how you can actually benefit from stock market without taking great risk. There are various ways in which stock market is looked at by people, and tomorrow's webinar we want to show you how those things are there in detail. There are various ways to make money in the market and how that can be done. So there is a 1 hour webinar on that. There is a detailed presentation. It will talk about all the aspects of stock market. And Krunal did not mention, but Krunal is actually a great trainer. He has already trained more than 5,000 people over the last several months, and he has been involved with overseas companies as well in imparting training overseas as well as Indian companies. एंड ऑफ कोर्स ही रन्स हिज ओन यूट्यूब चैनल, आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे. और मैं खुद क्या हूँ मैं आपको कल बताऊँगा इन डिटेल. एंड दैट्स इट फ्रॉम माय साइड फॉर नाउ, एंड वी विल सी यू टुमारो इवनिंग एट 5:30. एंड तब तक आप जो भी है ये वीडियो जो है हम यूट्यूब चैनल पे आ जाएगा थोड़ी देर में. सो इन केस यू वुड लाइक टू री लुक एट द वीडियो, प्लीज़ डू सो. यू आर फ्री टू शेयर दिस वीडियो विथ योर family and friends as well in case you have liked the video. And please also don't forget to subscribe the channel, because if you stay with us, I am sure that you will not repent your decision taken on 23rd July. So have a nice weekend and see you all tomorrow evening. Thank you.
Thanks.